She left the house with the child and disappeared. 34 years later, the horrifying truth shocked the world. In 1977, the world was shaking by a terrifying tale. A young mom left the house with the child to go to a nearby store, but they vanished without a trace. Despite an extensive search by the police, nothing was ever found. As years passed, the truth came to light and people realized the monstrous, unthinkable things that could occur in reality. The thought of such a horrific crime makes one's blood go wild. Are you ready to uncover the dark secrets behind their disappearance and forget the horrifying truth that has haunted so many for so long? In the sunny and beautiful state of Hawaii, a young couple named Mark Barnes and Charlotte Moriarty were blessed with a baby boy, whom they named Mark. Mark was 26 years old and worked as a veterinarian, while Charlotte was 31 and an artist. Despite not being married, the couple loved their child deeply and were determined to provide him with the best life possible. Disappearance. On June 21st, 1977, Mark worked on his property and planted on Charlotte's favorite flowers around it. Charlotte had asked to walk to the store with her son so she wouldn't distract Mark from his work. She put her son in the stroller and left. But several hours passed and Mark realized Charlotte had not been back since then. He decided to walk to the store and look for her, but he found his son's empty stroller near a bus stop, and Charlotte was nowhere to be found. Mark's wife and child went missing, but he waited 2 days before calling the police. Despite being advised to wait a few more days, Mark reported the disappearance to the police, and 3 weeks later, he visited the police station to inquire about the search process. However, the police informed him that they hadn't found any evidence yet and that the case was still not open. Mark looked for them all over the island for a year and a half and eventually moved to California. However, in 2001, something happened that changed the case. Another twist came into the story. Charlotte's daughter from her previous marriage, Jennifer, traveled to Hawaii to visit the police station. She spoke with the officers there and persuaded them to reopen her mother's disappearance investigation. The detectives agreed to act and enter Charlotte's and Mark's information into the missing person database. Based on a childhood photo, they also created a computer-generated image of what Mark may look like today. The police suspect that Mark may have played a role in the disappearance of someone or something. They contacted a witness who lived near Mark and Charlotte's home to gather more information. This witness is an older person who lived there when Mark and Charlotte were around. The witness told the detectives of the fight and that they believed the case was close to being solved and that Mark was responsible for what happened. After a thorough investigation, it was discovered that Mark was responsible for the disappearance of his wife, Charlotte, and their child. Shockingly, it was revealed that they had murdered them both on the same day. They vanished and buried their bodies in the backyard of their own home. Mark had kept this heinous crime a secret for 30 years, leaving no trace or evidence behind. The authorities collected DNA samples from Mark and Jennifer, hoping that it would then someday be useful. Unfortunately, the case remained unsolved for well over a decade until a significant breakthrough occurred, leading to the grand finale of this tangled and tragic story. On the other hand, Steve Carter, a 35-year-old man from Philadelphia, had always been curious about his past. He grew up in an orphanage and was adopted by a wealthy New Jersey couple when he was just the age of 4. Steve always wondered how he ended up in the orphanage despite being loved and cared for by his foster parents. In 2011, he found an internet article about Caroline White, who had been kidnapped from the hospital as a baby. Caroline found out later in life that her parents were the ones who kidnapped her. This inspired Steve to start researching missing children's websites. Scrolling through the pictures, he was shocked to see a familiar face staring back at him. He discovered he was born in Hawaii. However, at just 6 months old, him and his mother, Charlotte Moriarty, had gone missing. Carter's mother had left but didn't return for 3 weeks, so her partner and his father, Mark Barnes, told the police she was missing. Barnes never found out what happened to his girlfriend and the baby on June 21st, 1977. He took a DNA test to prove that the boy in the photo was his, but he was scared to meet his family after being separated for so long. After a DNA test revealed his true identity, the person contacted was his older half-sister Jennifer and informed her. The news scared his adoptive mother, Pat, as she felt that they had taken someone else's child. Although it wasn't true, earlier a woman had informed the police that a young girl with a baby had come to her house and asked for milk to feed the infant, prompting the police to investigate the situation and look for Charlotte and the child. When the police arrived at a woman's house, they found a weak and fragile young girl and a baby who needed medical attention. The girl was taken to a hospital but disappeared after a few days without anyone noticing. As she had no identification documents, the police could not identify her or her family. The baby was taken into state care since no one looked after him. It has been 34 years since Charlotte disappeared, and it's difficult to answer just why the police didn't act on it then. One possibility is that the two precincts handling the case must know each other's investigations. Steve, Charlotte's son, decided to reach out to his estranged biological father, who had a shady reputation, and to his surprise, he revealed that he had gone missing around the same time as Charlotte. Unfortunately, the mystery of Charlotte's disappearance remains unsolved, and it is unlikely to be resolved.